I'll say it.
Yeah, we didn't hear all that.
You gotta tap something on this screen. Because it asked me to stay.
Yeah, it asks you to continue.
I still like the screen next to me over here.
All right, you ready?
And this will stop at 15 after. And that's, play right here. Good evening, good evening. We're gonna give it just a few more seconds to allow some more participants to come into the room. All right, you ready? Sure. All right. All right, welcome everyone. I am Calvin Harris, Assistant Director of Student Activities, and this is the first day to our blueprint, Building a Successful HU Experience. This is actually the first time that we have given a virtual information fair, so I'm so pleased that all of you all have joined us on today. And on today's session right now is our second session for the week. And it is with the Office of Residence, Life, and Housing. And I'm going to allow my partner to go ahead and introduce himself to you all.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrew Morrison. I am the Interim Director of Residence, Life, and Housing, and I'm very happy to be here with my good friend, Calvin Harris.
All right, Mr. Morrison, this is what it's all about. All summer long, we've been answering phone calls and preparing for in-person instruction this fall of 2021. And so parents, students, the community, they just want to know, what is housing going to be like in the process? So we're just gonna have a little conversation today to get things started, just to educate our participants. Everyone, we will allow a few minutes at the end for a few questions. And I know that the crowd is getting thick, so we won't be able to answer everyone's question. I will say that in advance. If you miss any information, this will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, and it is located at the bottom of the flyer. By 8 a.m. in the morning, all videos will be up there the day after. So if anything that you did miss, you'll be able to rewind and be able to review, okay? Ready? Let's go ahead and get started. So we're here, in-person instruction. We are so happy to open back up the gates to our campus. A lot of changes have taken place, but just give the public a little bit to know who is eligible to live on campus.
Okay. All students are eligible to live on campus. However, it is a requirement for freshman students. But not only is it a requirement, it's an opportunity for them to live and learn on the campus, the opportunity to engage with their campus community environment.
Okay, so let's take a step back here. So we're registering for housing. How do they go about selecting their housing for the fall?
Okay, so with regard to freshman students, they need to make their advance deposit of $600. And so then they will receive access to the housing portal. And within that portal, they can make their housing selection. And so at this point, given the housing process started April the 12th, at this point, any freshman student who is interested in housing should send an email to housing@hamptonu.edu. And so that way they can request access to the housing portal once they have made that $600 deposit. Any continuing student needs to make the $400 advance tuition payment, and they will also send an email to housing@hamptonu.edu requesting access to the housing portal.
Okay, so the email address is housing@hamptonu.edu. And everyone, please, in the chat, we do have our support team that is entering all important email addresses and names into the chat. So if you can't hear, please just look into the chat for that. Okay, so you say $600 advance deposit, $400 advance tuition payment. Yeah, okay. Now we're about to do some grown folk business, but what if we have a credit on the account? Can that be applied? If so, for some reason there was a credit on the account, can that be applied towards those fees?
Most definitely. Anyone who has a credit on their account for $400, can please contact the business office at businessoffice@hamptonu.edu and request that their credit be applied to their advanced payment for the 2021 academic year.
Okay. And you know, if anybody is money conscious, like my father and mother are, and I know a lot of them are, before you pay for something, you want to know what you're paying for.
Right.
You all in the Residence Life and Housing have done an amazing job of renovating a lot of the dorms over this past year. So how can the people find out what the dorms look like before they register?
So in effort to ensure that everyone is able to see what we have in store for those students returning to campus in our residence halls, we have created a few videos that contain information, imagery, and details regarding the housing experience on campus. Now students will be able to access that information in the housing portal. Okay. It is also will be on the Hampton University website. I believe the continuing student information is currently on the Hampton University website, and it is also on YouTube. And so we are providing that information for students to be able to access.
Okay. So the portal that they're receiving that was sent out already, or is that something soon to come? So
once they have made the advance payment or the advance tuition payment, they receive access to the portal and they can review all information regarding the qualifications and requirements for residence halls.
Okay, got you. All right, so we've selected our building of choice. And now when we are getting to before we get into the check-in process, let's talk about what is required for them to return back to campus before moving there.
All right. The requirements for students to return to campus, they need to be both medically and financially cleared. And prior to them coming to campus, coming on campus, they have to have COVID testing provided by the university. So they will go through all of those processes prior to entering their residence halls.
All right. So somebody is asking about those fees again.
Okay.
So can you just go ahead and restate what the fees are?
Sure. For those incoming freshmen, it is a $600 advanced payment. And for continuing students, it's a $400 advanced tuition payment. Okay.
So we paid our money. Financially cleared, medically cleared. Now it's time to move in.
Okay.
So let's talk about it. We're going to dig right into it. What does move-in day look like for them?
All right. Move-in day is a joyous experience.
It's a joyous, it's a hot experience.
It is a hot experience.
But it's a joy.
However, we are going to do our best to ensure the safety of our visitors and our students coming on campus. And so as such, we are limiting the number of persons who can come on the campus. Each student is allowed to have 2 persons with them to assist them in moving in. They must be at 16 years of age or older. And so they can assist them within a 2-hour time frame that they have to check into their residence halls. Once their check-in has concluded, those persons who have assisted them must vacate the campus.
Okay. All right. Let's restate it again.
Okay.
Let's make sure we can let the people know what we say here.
Let's say you're moving in, Mr. Harris.
Okay.
You're moving in for your freshman year.
We ready.
You're ready. You and your 2 companions to assist. 2
adults. Yes.
Okay. Two adults. 2 persons who will assist. 16 years of age or above. All wearing PPE and following all COVID guidelines and appropriate protocols, have a 2-hour window to check into their residence halls. And so once they have completed that check-in process, those guests who have accompanied the students will vacate the campus, and the students will continue their process to set up their rooms, meet some of their fellow students, and start to learn the campus environment. Okay.
All right. So you're dealing with a lot of classifications. We have freshmen coming. We have a sophomore class that is touching base on the campus for the first time, getting the same residence life experience, as well as some returning students, or a lot of returning students. So what is being done to assist your students in the residence hall with getting acclimated to campus as far as learning and acclimation to Hampton University from the residence life perspective? Okay.
And so what I can tell you at this point is there is a concerted effort with regard to programming. And to let everyone know, with regard to sophomores in particular, there is an over 18 living learning community. Those buildings who have been designated to assist specifically with the development of our sophomores who learned remotely last year. So those buildings Many sophomores will be housed in McGrew Towers and Wilder Hall. However, our programming will extend to all sophomores who will be coming on the campus for the first time, and that is the over 18 living learning community.
Okay, all right. So we have our students here in the dorm, they're settled in. And some days when the partying and the socialization is over, we gotta get serious and talk about curfews.
All right.
Could you please explain about the university curfew procedures and standards?
Sure, most definitely. What we have during the new student orientation period, which is typically the first 6 to 8 weeks, all new students must adhere to mandatory curfew, which is 11 p.m. on Monday through Thursday. I'm sorry, Sunday through Thursday, and 1 a.m. Friday through Saturday. And so essentially what the curfew entails is those students who are in the student orientation period will return to their residence hall. They will check in with their residence hall director and staff, and they will remain in the building for the evening.
Okay, and I don't know if we even talked about this, but when is actual move-in day
Okay.
for the different classifications?
So I'd be happy to share that information just so that everyone knows. Freshmen will check in based upon their building assignment on either Friday, August the 20th or Saturday, August the 21st. Our sophomores who are returning will come in on Wednesday, August the 25th. And our juniors, seniors, and graduate students will return on Thursday, August the 26th and Friday, August the 27th.
Okay, let's go ahead and repeat those dates one more time for us.
Okay, let's start with our freshmen. They're coming in first, Friday, August the 20th, and Saturday, August the 21st.
Okay.
And that will be based on their housing assignment, based on the building that they are assigned to. So when they receive their assignment in the mail, they'll know the date and time that they should arrive.
Okay. All right. And one thing, I know we talked about this and we said 2 persons were able to come. To switch out persons throughout, because they're only here for a certain time frame of their moving, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so I would think that there's not a
I believe that the 2 persons who they would be coming on campus would be the 2 persons that would assist them in their check-in process,
all right.
and that they would
And you
vacate
stated the
campus.
time frame that they have.
So the time frame will typically be for check-in 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. But again, they will have a 2-hour window of
2
check-in.
hours.
So for example, 7:30 to 9:30 would be the first 2-hour window of check-in.
All right. So everyone, just to be clear, you only get 2 hours. So obviously switching out just to get you onto campus will not need to happen. So when you are selecting the 2 persons that are coming with you, make sure that those 2 persons are able to stay with you for the duration of that 2 hours, because if they leave, they will not be able to return back on. So just make sure that, is that a correct statement?
That's
Okay?
correct.
So let's make sure when you're selecting your 2, you get some people that can help you out. But also we'll be remiss to say that on move-in day for freshmen and sophomores, we do have limited student leaders that will be available to assist. As always, as a Hampton tradition, our Greer Dawson Wilson Student Leadership Program is here in full effect, and they are scattered out about our residence hall, and they are here to assist. So for any reason, one of your persons has to sit down or go to the car or what have you, we will have backup movers on the campus that will be able to assist with smiles on their face, okay?
And if I might piggyback on that, we will also have resident assistants that will be available to answer any and all questions or point you to the appropriate persons that can answer the questions for the information that you may need.
Okay, all right. So inside of the residence halls, can we talk about some of the COVID-19 procedures to mitigate the spread of the virus and to protect us?
I would be happy to. So we work diligently to make sure that we provide an environment that will assist in mitigating the spread of COVID-19 in the residence halls. And as such, we have installed no-touch temperature scanners, plexiglass partitions, as well as hands-free paper towel dispensers and hand sanitizer dispensers throughout the residence halls.
Okay. All right, and for building access and anything like that?
Yes, most definitely. So it is imperative, one of the most important things to learn as you are a student here at Hampton University is to keep track of your ID. All students will use their HUID card to access their specific residence hall at all times. And so in addition to that, it's important to understand that they will be utilizing the scanners every time they come in the facility.
Okay. All right. And so when we talk about COVID-19, what happens if a student tests positive for COVID-19 yet is asymptomatic or is exposed to COVID-19? What do we have in place for those students?
Okay, so first and foremost, a student will reach out to the health center to notify them of their circumstance. In addition to that, they will be temporarily housed at the Religious Studies Center until they can enact their safety plan. I believe I used the inappropriate terminology, and so I want to make sure that I get that correct. And so I'll revisit that momentarily.
All right. So we do have an isolation center established on campus.
We do have
that we can house them for a little bit.
Yes, we do have a facility that will temporarily house our student population in need, and they will enact their personal emergency plan in order to vacate the campus and go to the housing assignment that they have provided in that personal emergency plan.
Okay, gotcha. I'm following. And then we do have a question that came up in a previous session that I want to go ahead and get out there because I think somebody else is going to have this question. What if a student is unable to move in during their assigned day? What do they have to do? Once they get their letter, their moving day, and they need to switch it for any reason, is that possible or how does that work?
Okay, so that is something that actually depends upon the circumstances, and my recommendation would be that any student who has a concern about their check-in date or time, please send an email to housing@hamptonu.edu so that we can evaluate your information and further assist you from there.
All right. That's all.
You know,
we're gonna open up. I see a couple of hands up. And we have some very lovely parents and students that have joined us a few times in the past that always, love giving them the opportunity to ask some live questions. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna go ahead and I'll give a few minutes to ask some questions. So the first person, repeat, Miss April Barber, you on the line?
Yes. Good evening. Thank you for doing this.
What?
My question is around the actual dorms. We went on site. We read, my daughter chose a dorm, but the selections were very few. There were really only 2 dorms available at that time, and she did this last week. So can you elaborate on, I didn't see any selections for paying additional fees for the higher level or the single or the double rooms, etc. Can you help me with that?
Sure. I was going to ask first and foremost, what is the classification of your daughter?
Incoming freshman.
Okay. And so what I can tell you at this point, as we started the housing process in April, we've made housing available to all students and continue to do so. And we have students select the housing that is currently available in the residence halls in which they would like to stay. There is an opportunity for double rooms, also designated single rooms, depending upon the building. If all assignments are currently occupied within a building, we cannot assist in assigning a student to that building. However, there is housing availability.
Okay, you broke up for just a moment. So you're saying there were some, there's still availability for, the double room occupancy or the single rooms, etc. The suite rooms with the bathrooms, they were still available or no?
If you are referring to suite rooms, I would guess that you're referring to Virginia Cleveland Suites. And so I can—
Correct. I didn't see any of those.
Right. So I can tell you at this point, Virginia Cleveland Suites is currently filled. It is capacity. And so there are no additional suite rooms available when it comes to freshman residence halls.
Okay. They must have filled up very quickly because we did it very early. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. You're very welcome.
Jay Scott.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna go very quickly with my questions. Okay, first question. I I know there's like a residence hall security deposit due. Is that something that's going to be due on move-in day, or would that be a part of the tuition bill? It's like $100.
I am not familiar with the residence hall security deposit. If you could please follow up with an email so I can get clarification.
Okay.
Send that to housing at
Can
hamptonu.edu.
you? Okay.
That
Next
way-
question. Okay. Next question. Like for the premier suite rooms, I know there's additional residence hall charge. Is that a part of the tuition, or is that something that I'm going to have to pay out of pocket come on when she moves in?
So for premium housing, there is an additional fee depending on the building. However, I will tell you this, that is a question that I would be happy to look into for you.
Okay. So, okay.
So,
All right. Next question. Telephone fee, cable fee. Is that something I need to include in my email to you?
that is actually part of the comprehensive fee for.
Okay. Okay. So that'll be a part of the tuition bill that comes out in July.
All of those items that you've mentioned will be on the bill, yes.
Okay. Washer and dryers, do you happen to know the current fee for the 2021-2022 school year?
I believe washers and dryers, the fee for washing is $2.50. The fee for drying is 75 cents.
Okay. And I'm assuming they just put that money on like their Power Card or whatever?
Put that money on their ID card and they
Okay.
go to the laundry facility in the residence halls and they will swipe their ID card so that they can utilize the facilities.
Okay. I thought I may have read this somewhere, or maybe I saw it online. Is there like additional storage in some of the dorms where, like, if you have like a trunk or something that you can store for that semester, or that's something that, due to your limited space, that's something that the two people that help move the student in will have to bring back home if there's not room in their dorm?
No, ma'am, there's no additional storage in the residence halls. Those items
Okay.
the students can store in their rooms. They're more than welcome to do so. Otherwise, yes, if you feel like you would like to take them home, you're more than welcome to do so.
Okay. And the next thing, last one is, I guess I read somewhere where, I guess in the past, there were like parent-student activities, but I'm assuming due to COVID this year or whatever, I noticed that you said the 2-hour window, you got your 2-hour window, you move in, and then you vacate the campus. So I'm assuming that that's not going to be happening. I was reading, like, I guess in past years, there would be like a 3-day weekend where you bring your child and there was activities for the parents and students to, or
Yes, ma'am.
maybe that's not.
That is something that has happened in the past.
Okay.
That's not my area. So I'd be remiss if I continue to speak on that.
Okay. All right. That's it for me. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Cameron?
Hi, this is Cameron's mom. So I have several questions, so I'll try to be quick. So the 2 people that are going to move her on campus, do they also have to be tested?
No, they do not. Only the students will be tested when they come to campus.
Okay, and then she's attending pre-college, and I know you stated that we have 2 hours to move her in and then we have to vacate. So I'm concerned because we haven't been able to see her dorm room. If there's something that she's going to need after we move her in, is there a way to get things to her that she may need?
If I may ask that you follow up with the pre-college office with that question so they can make sure that they give you the appropriate information. And the pre-college office is run by Ms. Petra Johnson.
Okay. Okay, so next question is, this is also about pre-college. So I think in the last session, Ms. Johnson mentioned there was a question about a young man that was moving in, and she stated that he would be in a single room, but he would share a bathroom. Is that the case for pre-college for female students as well?
So yes, those students living in James Hall Suites and White Hall will share a bathroom with at least one other person. James Hall Suites is a Jack and Jill style facility, and so they'll be sharing a bathroom with one other person. Whitehall is a hybrid of Jack and Jill and quad style, and so they'll be sharing a bathroom with at least one other person.
Okay. And for the fall, my daughter had not picked a roommate. Is there a way for her to know who her roommate will be so that they can connect before the fall?
At this point, we're not providing other student information, and so your daughter will have to ascertain who her roommate will be when she arrives.
Okay.
Mr. Morrison, if I could then interject on that, this is Mr. Whitfield. How are you all today? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're doing well. Thank you, sir.
Good, good, good. I just wanted to jump in on that question. We do have the opportunity for students, for new students, to know who their roommates are. We're just asking that students send an email to housing@hamptonu.edu and ask for that information. And I apologize. My name is Aleczander Whitfield, Dean of Students here at Hampton University. And I apologize I can't be there physically, but I just wanted to jump in on that question just to make sure everyone understands that is a possibility. We just need to make sure that the person sends in that email to housing@hamptonu.edu. Thank you.
Thank you, David. So I greatly appreciate your assistance at this time.
Thank you.
Miss Cameron. Miss Cameron, hold on one second, because Miss Petra Johnson is still in the building. So she's gonna pop on now and answer the question that you just had, okay?
Okay.
Hi, this is Antoine Russ. I have one question.
Hold on, Antoine, 1 second.
Hi, everybody.
Okay.
I'm back real quick. I just want to give you a couple bits of information in reference to the checklist. To all the pre-college students, you all were sent out a pre-arrival packet. In that packet, it has a checklist of what items to bring. And in that checklist is everything that you need to bring for pre-college. Also, in reference to for the fall, when you arrive, there will be a virtual parent orientation August 12th and August the 13th, and that will be sent to the parent and student email. I'm sorry, parents, this year due to COVID, we are not able to have you all come on our campus and do the orientation, but we're going to provide some nice virtual information and some activities. Okay, thank you.
I have 2 more questions.
All right, Antoine, could you go ahead and put your hand up? I had other people in the queue before you, so I just don't want to jump out of line. Put your hand up and I'll get to you, okay?
All right, thank you.
You're
I just had,
welcome. Hey,
this is Cameron's mom. I still had just 2 more questions.
Okay, hold on 1 second, Miss Cameron. We can't hear you. 1 second. All right, say something, Miss Cameron.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Okay, I just have 2 more questions. Will there be storage available between pre-college and fall session?
No, ma'am, we do not provide storage during that time frame. We do not provide storage for students on campus.
Okay, all right. And then last question's about printers. I think when we looked at there was a checklist we were looking at that said she needed to bring a printer. So does she need a printer or printers provided on campus?
We do not provide printers for the students to use in the residence halls. There are printers available in the library and also in the Student Success Center and other locations on the campus. And so that's up to you as to whether or not you would like to bring a printer.
Okay, thank you. That was all my questions. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Layla.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, welcome.
Okay, 2 questions. The first one is for pre-college housing. I was sent multiple emails and I was given a room for my first email, but then the room changed in the most recent email I got. So how do I know which specific room I'm in?
Okay. In the first email that you received, there was an adjustment made to the housing assignments, and that's why the second email was sent out. However, if you would like to confirm that you've received the appropriate assignment, please send an email to housing@hamptonu.edu, and I'll definitely respond to that email and make sure that you have the appropriate information you need to show up on campus.
Okay, thank you. And the second question just lost my mind, so thank you.
You're very
welcome. Ms. Kaylin Bailey.
Hi again.
Hey,
I just had 3 quick questions. I wanted to know, I looked on a YouTube channel about one of the upperclassmen dorms, McGrew Hall, and it said that the housing charge, the $350 housing charge, was waived for the 2021-2022 school year. Is that true?
Yes, that is correct. That $300 charge has been waived for the 2021-2022 academic school year.
Awesome. And then my second question is, for the COVID checks that all the students have to do, will we have to do that like when we get on campus and then wait? Oh my bad. Will we have to do it and then wait until we get the results to come onto campus, or will we get the COVID test and then still be able to move into our dorms?
Okay, I understand your question. So you're referring to the COVID testing upon arrival?
Yes, sorry, yeah.
Not a problem at all. And so that will be a rapid test and a PCR test. And so you'll receive the rapid test results prior to moving on to the main campus. You should receive that within 20 minutes or so of being tested.
Okay. And then my last question is, because I'm a transfer student, is there a different check-in day other than like the freshman and sophomore, or is it like the same?
If you could actually send me a follow-up email so I can verify what your check-in day is going to be specifically as a transfer student, then I'll definitely send you a follow-up email that gives you that information. And once again, the email address is housing@hamptonu.edu.
Okay, thank you so much.
Very welcome.
And don't forget, because I know we told you at the last session, come back, check back in with us on Wednesday so that you can talk to Mr. Mikhail Davis, because he is handling transfer students. So just make sure you mark this down, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can talk directly to Mr. Dean Mikhail Davis, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, and let's go back and say this. I know a lot of parents, you've been asking about our storage on campus. However, we do have local storage facilities around the campus that you would have to pay for an additional charge. And sometimes they do have like a smaller version versus large, or if you meet a roommate and you two want to combine a storage, you can do so. In the pre-college packet, Ms. Johnson does have that information available. However, we're going to also make sure that the mass fall registered students get that information as well, okay? But yes, we do have storage facilities locally in Hampton Roads that outside of campus that you can store items at there. All right, Chantel.
Hello, someone answered my question. You answered my question already. I had the question regarding when COVID testing was actually going to take place on move-in day, but you guys already answered that question. My only other concern is the housing deposit was paid for my daughter. At least I think it's like going on 2 weeks ago, and she has not received an email. I did speak to someone today who said that they were going to reach out to housing regarding it, but I'm kind of still in limbo.
Okay, if you could send me an email directly at housing@hamptonu.edu and send it to attention to Andrew Morrison, so I can look into the details of your daughter's situation, or have her email
Okay.
directly. And please also include her student ID number and
Okay.
information so that I can definitely get back to both of you.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
All right. Maria Carey Jackson.
Yes, thank you. My sons are going to be coming early for band camp, August 2nd. They were told they'd be moving into their dorms that day. Are the procedures different or the same as the August 20th folk? What do we do?
So notification will be sent out specifically to those members of the band as to the instructions they will need to follow for their check-in process. And so please let your son know to keep track of his Hampton University email so that he can make sure that he receives any and all notifications from the Office of Residence Life and Housing.
Thank you.
Not a problem.
Christian LaFontaine.
Yes, hi, this is Christian and his dad. We have two questions, yes, for you. With a designated single room, is the furniture for both does all the furniture remain in the room? The 2 beds, 2 desks, and everything like that, if you have a designated single?
Yes, we have a designated single room. The furniture will remain in the room.
Okay, and secondly, can you let us know why refrigerators and microwaves are no longer permitted?
That is a good question. If you could actually.
Can I jump in on that?
Oh, Mr. Whitfield. Dean Whitfield is on the line. Yes, Dean Whitfield, you got it.
All right, I appreciate that question. That's is it Mr. LaFontaine?
Yes.
Okay, all right, great. So, and this is definitely, and again, my name is Aleczander Whitfield, Dean of Students. This is definitely applicable to all students. It's a couple reasons why over the years we haven't allowed students to have refrigerators and microwaves. One, because of a safety concern. We, with microwaves and refrigerators, that could cause a safety hazard, as in overloading the system, one, but also two, the need for students to make sure that they keep those things clean. And so we want to make sure that students keep their those clean, also the safety concern. So what we provide in each residence hall, we have a number of microwaves and refrigerators that are in the hallway. And also, it depends on the residence hall. And I believe your son is living in James Hall Suites in the fall. He will have opportunity in different spaces, an actual kitchen in the residence hall. So in that kitchen, students can be able to store, food in the refrigerator and different items and label those things. But our concern mainly is safety and also cleanliness for all the residence halls that we have. So right now, that is the policy that we have. And so, but with that said, I just want to make sure I clarify that statement. Students who need a refrigerator or a microwave in their room can go through the health center to get approval for medical needs only. And so what they would do at that point, say for example, a student has insulin that they must use, or if they have a particular diet that they must adhere to, they will go to the health center, present that information to them, and in turn, they would communicate with the Office of Residence Life and Housing, and then the student will be permitted to have that refrigerator or microwave, depending on whatever that is. And I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you. So he's in James Hall for pre-college, but he's in Harkness for the fall.
Okay, and let me just interject. Harkness does have a kitchen, a full-size kitchen actually there. Mr. Cullen is really great about allowing students to cook in that kitchen. And sometimes even from a programmatic standpoint, students will get together, cook a meal or anything like that, just to, kind of build community with the men that stay in that residence hall. So we have a kitchen in Harkness Hall. We also have a kitchen in Twitchell Hall, as well as James Hall Suites. There is a kind of a kitchenette, and Virginia Cleveland Suites as well.
Okay, great. And lastly, on the checklist for items to bring, it's a fan is listed, like a box fan, and we're just wondering, why is that? Do the dorms not have central air?
I'll actually assist in that question as well. That's a very good question. Sometimes students need a little bit cooler environment. We do have centralized air throughout all the residence halls. And so that is never a problem, but sometimes students want a little bit cooler in the room, but we always encourage students just to bring a fan, and we've been doing that for years. But yes, all residence hall rooms have air conditioning and heat, and so they're able to have some in most residence hall rooms. They actually can control the air, and it depends on the roommate and trying to figure out, you know, if they like the room hot or if they like the room cold. That would just be kind of negotiated between those two roommates if they have a roommate.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much. Tiffany Franklin.
Yes, I believe all my questions have been answered now since you've gotten to me. I did have one question though. When will those dates come out though for move-in? Because if I have to request off for work, or I would need to know in advance. Do you all have a date of when we will receive those in the mail as far as the move-in dates?
Is this for what classification is it?
Incoming freshmen, I'm sorry.
Okay, I can actually give you the freshman dates. Okay.
I know you said August 20th or 21st. Do you know, I mean, how do I know exactly which day?
That information has been provided. However, which building are you referring to specifically?
Oh, Lord, I don't know. My daughter would know. I don't know exactly. Is it based off of the building?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, I'll probably just have to reach out to you later then to get it then, because I don't know exactly the dorm that she's in offhand.
So yes, I apologize. I may have missed just the tail end of your question. However, I will say that the housing assignments for the fall will be going out in the near future. They'll be going out this week. And so your daughter will be receiving that information this week.
Okay.
All right. I guess this is Jackie. Jackie's phone.
Yes. Hi. Two questions. One, I had posted in the chat, but you all mentioned a 2-hour time frame for move-in. Are students being assigned a 2-hour time frame?
Yes. So the housing window of check-in is based on building and based on room assignment. So we have set up a system in which if your student has a roommate, your student and their roommate will not be checking in at the same time.
Okay, great. My other question is, so I heard you mention COVID testing, and students are to be vaccinated as well?
Yes.
I thought I read that. Okay.
That is correct.
Okay.
All must be vaccinated.
Thank you. That's it.
You're very welcome.
All right. And we have a Uday McGuana.
Was that my name you said?
Yeah, I apologize if I pronounced it incorrectly. Your first name, Jumoke?
Oh, no, that's not me. I'm sorry.
No,
Okay.
that's me.
All right. Could you pronounce your last name for me, please?
Yeah, just call me Ola.
Hola. Okay,
Yeah.
welcome. Yep.
Thank
What's your question for us?
Yes, I have a question. So my daughter will be attending the pre-college, and I haven't gotten any emails at all. We've made the payment for a while now, but I heard people saying they've gotten the emails and stuff like that. We've not received any emails at all for moving. And then my second question is about what if she's not able, because we're out of state, what if she's not able to come in on the 20th or on the 21st?
Okay. So right now, what I would have you do, Ms. Johnson has left the studio. If you could please, our support staff is putting her email address in the comments. Please email her at Patra, Patra, Johnson@hamptonu.edu and state both of those questions in your email, and she will respond to you before Friday.
Okay.
All right, my apologies.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Layla?
Yes, I remembered my second question.
Okay.
For the housing and the room scholarship for a single room, does the room scholarship cover a single room?
No, the room scholarship does not cover the single room fee.
So how would that process go?
If you could send me an email at housing@hamptonu.edu so you can specifically outline what your question is so that I can give you additional information, I would greatly appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
AMW?
That is actually me, Dean Whitfield.
Okay.
Well, I will lower my hand, but I did want to make sure that I clarified. I'm gonna lower my hand this time. I wanted to clarify my earlier statement in regards to housing and individuals finding their roommates. So yes, we have sent that information out before, and we wanted to make sure that that all the room assignments were settled before we sent out the specific information of where students were going to reside and who their roommate was. And so we're actually going to send out reminder notifications in July to make sure that all the students know this is exactly where you are going to reside. And also we send it out in July because that's when bills are generated for the fall semester. So all students will receive information in regard to their housing assignment, and on that information that they will receive or that confirmation, it will have their roommate and their roommate's contact information as well. And so I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't just that individual that I was speaking to as far as sending an email, but we are going to send again those confirmations, and that confirmation will have your roommate on that information as well, okay?
All right. Thank you so much, Dean Whitfield. All right, and we're coming down to our last 5 questions. So Ms. Rachel Ferguson, you're back.
I'm back. Question for you real quick. So I have 2 questions. One, in regards to, I hadn't read this yet maybe it's on the website, as far as is there a drug-free policy for housing? That was my concern in regards, especially with a lot of the marijuana use that the kids are doing now. I didn't know how that was handled in housing. What are the penalties? Or is that something that they're talked to about? How's that handled?
I will say this, on Thursday at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
Dean Whitfield will be back on the line. He handles judicial affairs and housing. Well, judicial affairs, I'm sorry. So he will be handling all of those code of conduct questions.
Perfect.
Presentation. So join us 6 p.m. on Thursday, and you can talk directly to Dean Whitfield in person.
Perfect. Perfect. Second question. We're coming from California, so he's also attending, my son will be attending the pre-college, and I will be helping him move in for pre-college, but I will not be helping him in the fall. So when he flies into Norfolk and he does his little Uber and all that stuff, he will be needing to put all of his things in storage from pre-college. So when he returns, he'll be on his own. Will there be assistance once he arrives to help him put the thing, once he goes back to his storage and gets all his stuff? Will there be people there to help him?
Move-in day?
Yes, on move-in day. Yes.
Yes, we will have student leaders on campus as long as he arrives during the move-in scheduled timeframe. Our student leaders will be available to assist during the day. So he would just have to fly in, get his hotel, go to a storage room, and then make sure that he is to campus
So he'll need a hotel. He's a freshman, so he'll need a hotel on move-in day.
So is he flying on? Is he coming in the same day as his move-in?
He is, and that was my last question. Do I need do I need to send a message because he's coming in at 4:00 p.m. your time? So,
Okay,
and
so
I know he has a different move-in time. What's that?
please send an email to housing.
Okay.
And just to clarify, he'll receive assistance in moving his items into the building once he arrives to the residence hall. Assist in transporting items from his storage facility to the campus.
Okay. Okay. So he'll have to handle that part. Got it. Okay. I'll send an email about his arrival time so you all will know that. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Anderson.
Okay, hi. So my daughter was able to select her room and her roommate. Is there circumstances that would change?
No, ma'am. Your daughter's housing assignment will not change. What she has selected is her housing assignment.
Okay, so that won't change. So what she'll get in the mail is what she's already selected and the person that she's already selected. Or they selected each other.
So I cannot speak to the other person and their specific housing situation.
Okay.
I can state is that your daughter's selected housing assignment will remain her housing assignment.
Okay.
If I can just
my next question is, the gentleman, the dean that was on earlier, he mentioned that some of the dorms have kitchens. Do you know if VC Hall has a kitchen?
Yes, ma'am. Virginia Cleveland Hall does have a kitchen.
Okay.
And Ms. Anderson, I think Dean Whitfield is online. He's trying to respond to your first question. Dean,
okay.
You can speak now, please.
Okay, yes, ma'am. I just wanted to let you know what I was referring to was just a confirmation of the housing assignment that students have already received. And so through the housing portal, students went all the way through and received a confirmation at the end of their selection process. And we just want to make sure that we send that reminder because students will receive a bill actually for the fall, which will include their housing assignment. So we just usually send that as a confirmation. And again, we'll send that information for the roommates on that email as well.
Okay, and then my final question is, I was contemplating bringing her there to do a tour because our tour that we were supposed to do was canceled due to COVID last year when you guys shut down initially. Is it possible for her to have a tour now, or are you guys still not offering tours?
Now, is your daughter coming for pre-college or is she just coming in the fall?
She's just coming in the fall.
So yes, you can always contact admissions office. You can email, I know it's on the website, but if you want to email Miss Jorene, GERENE.Carter@hampton-U.edu. They are currently doing tours by appointment.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Shakisha Jones.
Good evening. I joined a little late, so I believe I missed the answer to the question about what students were allowed to bring into their room as far as cooking appliances. When I joined, I heard that there were kitchens in specific dorms. So did you guys say what they could or could not bring?
We did not speak specifically to that. However, my recommendation would be that you send an email to Ms. Petra Johnson to get clarification as to what they should or should not bring to the residence halls. And her email address is petra.johnson@hamptonu.edu. First name spelled PATRA.Johnson@hamptonu.edu. And that information has also been dropped into the comments.
Yes, and she was on our last session and she did announce that she was going to be resending out information, the packet that does have the do's and don'ts with a lot of other information just to make sure that everybody has it. And you can expect to receive that packet before Friday. But she
okay, that would be great. And I'm assuming in that packet, there will be information about linens. I know some schools allow you to buy a linen package or rent linens. Do you guys offer that same service?
Yes, they do offer that same service, and yes, that packet is going to include everything. So she's just sending out what was already previously sent to ensure that everybody received it. And depending on when you registered, she's just going to go ahead and get that second batch out. So just look for Friday, but if you do not receive it, then on Monday, please send her an email so that she can work with you directly, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Antoine,
Hey, how's it going?
how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking my call. I arrived, or my call, I guess. I arrived a little bit late as well, and I had two questions. One is, have all of the notifications gone out about the room scholarships? Because I don't believe my student has heard back yet concerning the room scholarship.
That's another issue. All right. All right. The room scholarship is also handled through the Office of Admissions. So Ms. Doreen Carter, the email address is in there. Oh, I'm sorry. It'll be Dean Boyd. So it'll go to Angela, ANGELA .Boyd, BOYD @hamptonu.edu. She is the Dean of Admissions. So she handles the room scholarship. So send her an email with your student's name and ID number if you have it, and ask that question so she can work with you directly.
Okay, all right, I appreciate that. And then my second question is concerning the 2-hour move-in time, and then once our student is moved in those 2 hours and we're to vacate the campus, does that mean that we would no longer, after she's moved in the 2-hour period and we vacate the campus, are we not allowed back on campus at all?
That is correct.
Okay.
We are, if I can.
So then that 2 hours is our time to say goodbye to our student.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wait,
So
so the
who
student can't come
do I
off
talk to about? I'm sorry. Who do I talk to about 2 hours and 10 minutes?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody.
I don't know that there's anyone to talk to about those 10 minutes, sir.
Just make sure both of you have iPhones. You can FaceTime each other if you drive. But just know that once she is here, she is in great hands, and we have a lot of great events planned. So, you know, it might be hard, but after about 30 minutes of socializing, she might be met some new friends in the circles.
She might be in better condition than you are, sir.
We are ready for them to come back. So yeah, I most definitely look forward to it, but we all have been there.
So is there any kind of crying station for the parents, or are we just kind of left on our own?
Well, the crying station is actually outside the main gates of the campus.
And we're gonna make a note to put some Kleenex in the door.
You know, any location that you choose outside of the main gate of the campus.
If I could jump in on this one, this is Dean Whitfield again. Hi, sir. How are you? We do actually, and you have a legitimate question, and as a parent, I absolutely understand. And you know, we don't want to make light of it, but you know, the transition of students, you know, leaving the parents is really traumatic. Sometimes even more for the parents. We do offer a great session through the Student Counseling Center, which is entitled Letting Go. And so that session gives the opportunity for all parents to kind of identify and work through some of those issues and kind of understand how do you manage that, you know, separation anxiety that all parents go through. And so I just wanted to make sure that, yes, we do have a session for that. And Ms. Johnson is actually, it's part of our parent orientation. And so Ms. Johnson from the Office of Freshman Studies is going to provide that information to all parents as well.
Okay. All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And last question is for Ms. Christina Bourgeois-Lewis.
Hi, how are you all this evening? Antoine, you actually answered, you asked my question because I had that same exact question about, we had already planned to, you know, maybe drop her off and then come pick her up on Saturday to hang out with us. But I hear that she's not going to be able to do that. Once we drop her off on that Friday or Saturday, whenever move-in date, that is it. We can't come back to campus and pick her up, maybe take her to lunch, take her to dinner, or give her any of the other items that she may need that we didn't get a chance to, to get her room together. So is that what I'm hearing?
That is correct. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, my last question is, and I think I kind of put in the chat, but just wanted to make sure that I understand. So you have two people that are coming. So say for instance, my mom wants to come because she knows what she's doing as far as putting the dorm together. She can't stay in the car while we bring up everything. My husband can't go back and have my mom come up and help me with the room. We can't do that, no?
No, ma'am. It would be two persons, student and two persons that they bring with them.
Okay. Oh, I'm gonna have separation anxiety. Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome.
All right. Well, I thank everybody for joining us. That concludes tonight's session. On tomorrow, we will return at 6 p.m. with Dr. Marcella Campbell, our family nurse practitioner, and Ms. Sharon King, our registered nurse of the health center. They will answer all things medical as far as Hampton is concerned with you returning to our campus. And then there has been a time change. The second session will take place at 7 p.m. and that will be with Mr. Alton Wampler. He is our licensed mental health counselor with our Student Counseling Center. So they do offer services for parents and students. So those that we did hear you just say, separation anxiety. So please join us tomorrow. A new flyer is going to go out first thing in the morning. The link will be the same. So however you joined us on today, please use that link or meeting ID. But tomorrow's sessions will be at 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you joined us late on this evening or missed our first session, please check out our new Student Affairs YouTube channel. It is on YouTube at HU Student Affairs, and all videos will be uploaded by 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow morning. Once again, we thank you all for joining us today. Mr. Morrison, thank you. And Dean Whitfield, thank you for joining us virtually to answer these questions. Please look forward to our future programming. Ms. Petra Johnson did announce that we are going to do our virtual parent sessions sooner versus later. So we'll be getting that together, as well as we will reach out to other departments to make sure that they are on board with offering more great information. All right, once again, thank you all, and we'll see you all tomorrow.